A very good evening and welcome. This is Newsfirst Primetime News here on MTV Sports. I'm Ramesh Bandara.
And I'm Samadhi Gunasekara.
Well, over 5,700 individuals who were reported missing from Uttarakhand state following flooding have been presumed dead. Now, we have a special Newsfirst NDTV joint report coming up later on in the news. But before that, here's a look at your headlines. TNA selects CV Vigneshwaran as its candidate for the position of Chief Minister of the Northern Province.
අපේ මිනිස්සු අපේ ආරක්ෂාව කරන්නේ නැත්නම් පිටේ ඉඳලා ඉන්න මිනිහෙක්ද ආරක්ෂාව කරන්න යන්නේ.
Jalal Jaram requests Indian government not to allow Sri Lanka to change the 13th Amendment. Indian media reports say that 6 Tamil Nadu fishermen have been attacked. OIC of the Crime Division of Headquarters of Police in Trincomalee arrested on bribery charges. And on sports, American sprinter Tyson Gay fails a doping test.
The Tamil National Alliance have chosen CV Vigneshwaran as their candidate for the position of Chief Minister of the Northern Province. Speaking at a media briefing held in Colombo today, TNA leader parliamentarian R. Sampadan made the announcement of Vigneshwaran's candidature.
The 5 constituent parties of the Tamil National Alliance convened in Colombo today to select the alliance's candidate for the position of Chief Minister at the upcoming Northern Provincial Council elections. Speaking at a media briefing held subsequent to this meeting, TNA leader parliamentarian R. Sambandhan expressed the following views.
It was unanimously resolved that a candidate for the position of Chief Minister at the forthcoming Provincial Council election for the Northern Province would be Mr. C.V. Vigneshwaran, a retired judge of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. Other nominations will be finalized in due course by the Tamil National Alliance.
In a practical way of living with the people and doing matters together with the people, certainly I have not been in that position. But it is not difficult for a person who has a theoretical knowledge to understand what are the difficulties that people face, what steps have to be taken in order to ameliorate their conditions. These are matters which is not very difficult for a person who has knowledge of politics and legal knowledge to understand and act upon.
Meanwhile, the Election Secretariat says that 4,989 internally displaced persons have been registered to vote at the upcoming Northern Provincial Council elections. Deputy Elections Commissioner M.M. Mohammed said that 10,243 IDPs had applied to vote. He added that the applications of 5,254 IDPs were rejected on the basis of several causes. 1,226 of these applications did not contain the NIC number or the date of birth or the date of registration. Also, the applications of 135 persons who were below 18 by the 1st of June 2012, when the 2012 voter list was prepared, were also rejected. 745 were rejected for not providing information on the final registration, and 458 were rejected for not completing the Gramaniladari certificate. 1,278 applications were rejected for one or more of the above reasons. Over the past 4 years, the CAFE organization has been of the stance that the displaced must be given the right to vote. However, unfortunately, for whatever reason, a large section of those who showed enthusiasm and applied for the vote have been rejected. Over 50% have been rejected. This is very unfortunate. However, in accordance with the Special Provisions Act number 27 of 2013, a very limited time frame was allowed for this process. Once again, the problem that we have is that these people will not have the opportunity to vote at this election, and we are faced with the challenge of registering them for future elections at least.
ඒ අතරින් තවත් අයදුම් පත්‍ර 5254ක් මෙවර.
Meanwhile, the Hindu reports that Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha Jayaram, has urged Indian Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh to decisively take a bold stand in support of the Tamil majority. In a letter to the Indian Premier, Jayalalitha expressed her concerns over the Sri Lankan government's move to dilute or repeal the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Meanwhile, at a media briefing convened today, JVP Propaganda Secretary MP Vijitha Herath expressed the following views. Because of pressure exerted by India, the government has come to a stance where elections for the Northern Provincial Council will be held as per usual under the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. What they have done here today is put the national problem of our country on the back burner in favour of the chairmanship of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. India's stance is extremely clear. India has said that the 13th Amendment must be implemented. What is the stance of the Sri Lankan government? As a government, the first decision that must be made is whether to uphold or repeal this. The problem is that there is no stance within the government on this. There is infighting. In this situation, how can they have talks with India? This government and every other government in our country has functioned under India's gamble. That is why India is able to make political decisions in our country today. The Janatha Vimukti Peramuna says that we must move forward as a country without bowing to pressure and incitement of fear.
Minister of External Affairs Professor G.L. Piri says that none of the Commonwealth nations have informed that they would not participate in the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting scheduled to be held in Sri Lanka. The minister made this statement at a media briefing organised to create awareness on Shukam. A number of ministers and high-ranking government officials were present at the media briefing held at the Ministry of External Affairs.
We are working very closely with the Commonwealth Secretariat in London. His Excellency Kamalesh Sharma, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, visited this country on 2 occasions during the last 7 months. We are also in regular touch with the Commonwealth Business Council. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II will be represented by the Prince of Wales, and we expect all the members of the Commonwealth to be present on this occasion. There is no country which has said that they will not participate. Not one. Everybody will be there.
Minister of National Languages and Social Integration Vasudeva Nanayakkara says that a program will be implemented this week to inquire into and resolve economic, social and language problems faced by people being integrated into society. The minister made this statement at an event held today to mark the beginning of National Languages and Social Integration Week.
National Languages and Social Integration Week, which commenced today, will conclude on the 21st of this month. The theme of the week is Social Integration through Education. Representatives of various fields participated at the event held at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute in Colombo today. How should this government be run? How should the country be governed? What is the system that will enable all the people to have equal rights and reach their aspirations? The government has accepted a unitary government system with the provincial councils for this. We can consider the establishment of the Northern Provincial Council after all this time as a victory that we have achieved.
On tonight's Words of Wisdom segment, we take a look at the thoughts of former South African President and anti-apartheid hero Nelson Mandela.
Without language, one cannot talk to people and understand them. One cannot share their hopes and aspirations, grasp their history, appreciate their poetry, or savor their songs. Nelson Mandela, former South African President.
The Sri Lankan Freedom Party has decided not to allow parliamentarians from the party to contest elections for the Northwestern, Central and Northern Provincial Councils. SLFP General Secretary Minister Maithripala Sirisena expressed the following views on this matter.
We will be holding interviews on the 16th for prospective candidates for the Northwestern and Central Provincial Council elections. We have already held interviews for the prospective candidates for the North. As the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, we have arrived at a decision to not allow any of our parliamentarians to contest for provincial council elections. We hope to select existing provincial councillors and ministers and new youthful faces from these areas.
It's time now for the newspaper cartoon of the day.
Indian media reports say that 6 fishermen from Tamil Nadu were injured when they were allegedly attacked by Sri Lankan naval personnel near the Katchathivu islet early last morning. The Times of India reported that 2 of the fishermen were in serious condition, adding that all 6 had been hospitalized. However, when Newsfirst made inquiries, Navy media spokesperson Commander Kosala Varnakula Surya unequivocally denied the report, adding that at no time has the Sri Lankan Navy ever carried out such an attack.
The Times of India also reported that India's Union Minister for Transport and Highways, Oscar Fernandez, had said in Bailankani on Saturday that he would take up the issue of incidents involving repeated attacks on fishermen from Tamil Nadu with External Affairs Minister Salman Khurshid. The report also notes that 30 fishermen from Nagapattinam had lodged a complaint with Fisheries Department officials on Saturday, claiming that they had been attacked by Sri Lankan naval personnel while fishing off the coast of Nagapattinam. The Times of India reports that this incident has sparked protests by fishermen in over 10 hamlets in the district who have launched an indefinite fast demanding concrete action from both the state and central governments to put a stop to such incidents. Meanwhile, fishermen in Puttalam say that the unnecessary intervention of Indian fishermen in their activities must be put a stop to immediately. These fishermen who set out to sea from the Kalpitia Fisheries Harbour and dropped their nets off the coast of Mannar, close to the maritime boundary, say that they are facing a new challenge.
There are around 4 or 5 people in our vessel, but there are around 8 people in their vessel. They carry a large number of nets. A countless number of our nets have been destroyed. We cannot engage in fishing activities and we are left helpless. We have to return after 2 or 3 days. We lose money and are in debt.
The fishermen charge that Indian fishermen crossing the maritime boundary and poaching in Sri Lankan waters has become a major challenge for them. Here's footage captured by Newsfirst this morning.
Now, the Hindu reports that the Indian Supreme Court today issued notice to the central government on DMK chief M. Karunanidhi's plea seeking direction from India to retrieve the island of Katchathivu, which was given to Sri Lanka in 1974, and make it a part of Tamil Nadu. Agreeing to hear the plea, the bench headed by Chief Justice Altamas Kabir sought a response from the central government. According to the Hindu, Karunanidhi in his petition urged the Apex Court to declare the agreement between India and Sri Lanka reached on the 26th of June and the 28th of June 1974 and the Accord of March 23, 1976 for giving Katchathivu to Sri Lanka as void and unconstitutional. The petition said that the central government be directed to take appropriate action to restore the pre-existing historic rights of the fishermen of Tamil Nadu to fish in the waters surrounding the island of Katchathivu. Katchathivu is an uninhabited island located about 10 miles northeast of Rameswaram on the Indian side and 9 miles south of Delft Island on the Sri Lankan side. Staying in local news, Deputy Minister of Fisheries Sarath Kumar Gunratna commented on a statement made by the Minister of Disaster Management recently. The Deputy Minister cited the report of the Presidential Commission to investigate the deaths of 50 fishermen due to the inclement weather recently.
Even before the report was released, the Minister of Disaster Management issued a statement yesterday according to the information he received. The statement had pointed a finger at me and accused me directly. It is saddening to see such a statement being made by a government minister. The entire country and the fishing community accepted that fishermen set out to sea after monitoring the weather reports on the media. In such a backdrop, I have a doubt, because the chairman of the commission appointed to look into this was a former chairman of the Met Department. I have a doubt whether officials of the Met Department influenced them when complying this report, because statements are being made even before the report is released.
ජනාධිපතිතුමාදී මේක පිටවෙන්නේ ඉස්සෙල්ලත් මේ වගේ ප්‍රකාශනකුත් කිරීම පිළිබඳව